Hello everyone, welcome to another bikepacking video, and today I thought I'd just give you a bit of a rundown of our camping equipment, so the camp setup. So we've kind of gone for a lightweight but pretty comfortable setup as far as things go with the camping. So taking a lot of inspiration from, lightweight through hikers and that sort of thing. But it's not crazy minimalist. We're here for 3 months and we want to make sure we're warm and comfortable, and also it's pretty cold up in the mountains. We've been sleeping up close to 5,000 meters sometimes, and we haven't had many issues with it too much. So let's start with the tent. So this is the Hyperlite Ultimate 2, which is a great tent. It's about 1 kilo. I've had it for maybe 3 years now. Super nice. One of the reasons I really like it is because it's so spacious for a two-person tent that only weighs 1 kilo. So especially how we've rigged it, which is as an A-frame. So you can see we've got poles going down to the side on both sides. There we go. And then it's like attached to the top, like there. There's just so much space in here, so we can. You can sit up to change. If it's raining, we have done it a couple of times where we've just pitched the outer and we've got our chairs in here, so we can have lunch in here, under a shelter, which is really nice, and cook. Yeah, the tent is fantastic, perfect thing for the job. It's not freestanding, but to be honest, we haven't really had too much of an issue with that. Okay, on to the sleeping setup. So starting with the pad. So it's a double pad. It is the X-Bed Ultra UL Duo, I can't remember, 3R, something like that. Essentially, X-Bed make one double pad, and we've got it. We've got the long ride version. It's really comfy. You can see it's super thick. It takes a lot of blowing. We're up at 4,000 meters at the moment, so at the end of a long day, it takes a lot of puffing. So maybe next time I'll bring one of those wee little pumps. But to be honest, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. We're then running 2 pillows. So talk about the quilt in a second, but running 2 X-Bed pillows which match as well, which is really nice. Onto the quilt. The quilt is a Big Agnes King Solomon. So it is rated to 2 degrees, but we've been down probably to -5 in it, I think. But as wearing trousers and a down jacket and a hat and stuff. We've had ice on the inside of the tent. So it has, been pretty cold, and we've been okay in it. So it's got down just on the top, and then it's got this fabric on the bottom just to keep you off the mat. Nice thing about it as well is that it's got these loops, so it you can see it attaches to the mat so it doesn't get pulled up, and then you've got zips on either side, which are quite handy for being able to just vent. Not that it has been that warm, but we've spent the odd night in quite warm conditions. Yep, that is the mat, the quilt, and then on the inside of it there's we've got a liner as well. I can't remember the name of it. It was the cheapest one I could find on the internet, a cheap silk liner, which is nice and handy for just keeping the sleeping bag clean and things. So that's the tent. As I said, we've been down. It's probably been -5. I don't have one of those little thermometers. It would have been handy. But yeah, there's been ice on the inside of the tent wall, and we managed to survive that just about okay. So on to other little bits and pieces. So we have our chairs. So I'm going to sit down now on one of them. So these are I've got this one here as well. The Trekology Yeezy Light chair. And to be honest, they're pretty good. They're about 500 grams. So, you know, only a little bit heavier than the Helionox chairs, but they're around £40 each off Amazon. The build quality isn't fantastic. We've had like the elastic in some of the sections break, but like it doesn't actually make a difference once they're up. They're quite comfortable. They sit quite low to the ground though. But it's been really nice having chairs just for lunch, for cooking and stuff, having a bit of a sit down that isn't on the ground. Obviously, you can sit on the ground. I've spent many an hour sat on the ground at camp and it is fine, but any muppet can rough it. Final little bit of equipment that's worth mentioning with our camp setup is the cook system. Okay, so this is the cooking setup. I just got it out because it's quite a fiddle to get out with one hand. So the stove is a primeless Omni-Fuel, which this one's probably about 15 years old. They're really good, really serviceable, runs off any fuel. So we just use butane gas because it's not too hard to find out here, to be honest, and we just carry a bunch of it. But you can happily run it off petrol or alcohol or whatever you find. You just need one of those pumping bottles, which we've got with us as well. Our main pot is this Fire Maple one with heat exchanger. Heat exchangers are good because they boil your water faster. One of these fold up wind guard things. And then I've got another cook set here actually as well that we use sometimes, which is another Omni-Fuel, this time like the titanium version in a Tokes tie pot. This is the one that I just normally take with us if I'm doing a shorter trip. But it's useful to have two because if you want to boil pasta and heat sauce or whatever, you can do that. And it all nicely fits in here, except that's a different one. And then there's a lighter in there as well and some other cleaning bits and bobs that I've got in there. So that's the cooking setup. Other than that, that's pretty much the camp setup. I've done a full bike check as well. So if you want to have a look at the bike, go for that. But this camp setup, we, use it hiking and bits and bobs as well. So it's not just for bike packing, but that's what we're up to at the moment. So any questions about specific pieces of gear or anything, just chuck them below and I will try to get back to you. But I can't promise anything because we are in deepest, darkest Peru. Okay, bye for now.